This episode is brought to you by my friends at Ned. Go to helloned.com. Use the code SYNC at checkout, SYNC. You get 15% off anything you order. I recommend the full spectrum hemp oil. That's great. Otherwise known as CBD. Relaxing, calming, energizing if you need it to be. They also have magnesium, sleep aids, mellow, all this stuff to help you relax. It's a stressful world out there. We're going to talk about money this episode. God knows it's a stressful world out there. Lord knows it is. Go to helloned.com. Use the code helloned.com/sync. Wait, is it /sync? Use the code SYNC at checkout. That's what it is. helloned.com, code SYNC at checkout. Butchering this ad, SYNC. You get 15% off whatever you order. Cool, guys. Go check them out. That's it. On to the episode. Welcome to Synchronicity. No guest this week, solo cast. We're going to do 2 of these a month. Shout out to the guy who said, hey, Noah retired from podcasting in the server. That's not true. I'm just doing less of them. That's a normal thing to do at times, don't you think? There'll be 1 solo cast a month, 1 guest podcast a month. I feel like that's pretty fun. We are doing live streams, other fun stuff on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/synchronicity. So if you want to stay more involved, that's the place to do it. Can we talk about what the fuck is going on with cryptocurrency? This is a week where I'll probably talk about crypto just a little bit. But if you're not involved with crypto already, if you're not involved with investing or whatever you want to call it, it's not just going to be about that. It's going to be about the idea of money, of abundance, of lack, of poverty, of how reality works, how we derive value, all of those fun things, just because it seems to be an increasing trend that people are recognizing that, like, hey, this money stuff, maybe it doesn't work the way we were told. It's weird, right? And no one wants to hear people bragging about how much money they're making and blah, blah, blah. It's obnoxious. It's boring. But I do get the sense that a lot of people want more money. And for whatever reason that is, there's no judgment. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to make a qualitative judgment on why you want more money or what you want to be doing with it or what, psychological holes that potentially is going to fill. No, I don't give a shit. It's not what this is about. When we first started talking about a lot of this manifestation stuff on this podcast back in July, 2019, I was very upfront and said, hey, listen, like, it's cool if people are looking for, like, the goal of, like, enlightenment or, just whatever, some highfalutin spiritual goal. That's cool. I'm into that. That's great. But I focused on money. I had real life responsibilities. I had second child on the way. Shout outs to the third kid. When you coming, buddy? Any day now. I had real life responsibilities. So I had to figure out what am I going to do? How am I going to bring in more money? More peace of mind, of course, given by the money, that I don't have to be freaking out that I don't have enough to support my family or take care of my obligations or whatever it is. I was like, how do I get more of this stuff? So I did use the techniques that I've spoken about. Go back and listen to them if you want to hear what those are. I use those, but the core reason that I focused on money is it really had a lot to do with my day-to-day mental health. I think something that can happen when you get into the flow state with money, you should always kind of try to stay aware of your relationship with money, whether positive, negative, or neutral. Just kind of be aware of what it is that you can kind of lose sight of what it was like when you had to constantly worry about money in your life, which a lot of people do. And that doesn't mean you don't have any and you are it's the only guys that can come in that you're going to worry about. You could be obsessed with making more. You could be fixated as the sole pursuit of making money. That's your whole goal. Those are both, probably not the healthiest perspectives on how to deal with this stuff. But what I think is important to remember is that this idea of money, this idea of exchanging some energetic, qualitative, quantitative value of something for something else is made up. It's not real. It's not a real thing. It doesn't work the way you've been told that it works. Now, you could look at this and be like, all right, well, there's people in the middle of the country, all over the world who just lost their jobs, who have been gutted by the pandemic or just the crumbling infrastructure of the government or whatever you want to call it. How can you say to those people that money isn't real? Of course it's real. You can't pay the bills with your imagination. You can't say, hey, I landlord, I just imagined that I had more money, so you'll take a rain check on this for the next year, right? Doesn't really work like that. However, underpinning this entire system is this tacit belief that we condone, that we say, all right, this stuff is worth that. If I want to get that, that's how much it costs. That should be both a liberating and somewhat disturbing realization when you get it. But what it does mean is that if it's not real, if the relationship between acquiring and having and sustaining and preserving wealth or whatever you want to call it isn't really based on anything at all. It's based on some ideas, some concepts, some cool things, sure. But if it's not really fundamentally based on everything, and we can also use this for our own lives, well then what can we do to kind of play with that concept? What can we do also, more importantly, to practically and empirically test whether it's real and whether it works the way we think it works? Now, here's the thing. If you believe that money works a certain way, for instance, if you believe you have to go to a job and exchange your time and your energy for money, that is most likely going to be your experience, and you will get ample evidence that that's what's going on. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying there are a lot of people who are like, that's the only way you make money. You exchange your time and energy for money. But if you recognize that's not necessarily true, it's only kind of partially true because of your belief that it is true, then you have a little more flexibility. You have a little more wiggle room. So something that's been going on recently, that just because I was talking about it with Denise the other night, because if you remember on the recent podcast with Sean and Cass, I think we spoke about Askcoin on this one. It was definitely on their podcast, Very Ape. Askcoin, Australian Service Shepherd coin, right? It's called Askcoin. It's ridiculous. I primarily bought it just so I could tell people who were like, crypto's a scam, bro. It'd be like, hey, I made 6 figures on Askcoin. Whatever. Did you have that money? Where is it? No, I cashed it out. It's in my bank account. That's where it is. Really. So this coin, it's one of these dog coins. And what I mean by dog coin is literally dog. There's Dogecoin. It's a type of dog. There's dog coins. There's hundreds of them at this point. And something that has happened in the crypto sphere is these dog coins are all pumping. There's new ones every day, and they all go up into insane valuations. There's people who put in $100, they come out with $1 million. Not a joke. Happening a lot. Definitely a joke, but also really happening. So when this happens, I love this shit, because to me, this is just further continuation and proof that anyone who thinks they have any idea about how this works, about how things have worked, how traditionally the financial sector has worked, they are going to be so fucking upset. And they will stay upset until they recognize shit's magic beans, bruh. Your dollars are magic beans. Your yen are magic beans. Your lira, everything is magic beans. It's just a game of magic beans. There are some people who control certain centralized ways of controlling these magic beans, typically fiat currency, and then there's other ways where it's a little more equitable, a little more fair. That's it. Just look at this like magic beans. You're going to have an easier time processing what's going on. So these dog coins are pumping 30,000%, 2,000% weekly. Insane. You put in a little bit, a change, you end up with enough to pay the bills for the next few years. That's weird, right? Why is this happening? Are they legitimate currencies that will hold stores of value and, be utilitarian in the future? No, definitely not. The vast majority will absolutely not even come close to that. They're essentially just Ponzi schemes. Again, Ponzi scheme's not a bad... Can I destigmatize Ponzi schemes? Everything is a Ponzi scheme, right? That was the last podcast. Everything is. It all is. It's our collective belief. Now, what's scary about this type of situation is everyone's like, well, it's all well and good except for the last people holding the bag. Totally. But let me tell you something about bag holding that you'll learn eventually, because I've held many bags in the past. I've been outright scammed for tens of thousands of dollars over the past year, right? I'm just saying, like, everyone's holding the bag at some point. You learn a lot when you hold the bag. How many other times do you want to? It's an important lesson in life. You can look at it like, these malicious forces are out to get me, and how dare they convince me to put my money in this, and then I lost it all. It's like, no one made you do that. You did it because you saw people getting rich, or you saw an opportunity, and you maybe timed it not great. It's no big deal. It's okay. It happens. There's a lot of other people absolutely making money. Also, at this point, there's been so much money pumped into the cryptosphere over the past 11 years, 12 years. There are people who get this shit. They recognize they've made money off a digital coin that no one thought was going to make money, and now they have enough money for several lifetimes, generational wealth. What do you think you start doing at that point? You can consolidate, you can hoard, you can, stunt and show people how rich you are, or you can just be like, this is a game. This is a game, and I'm going to start helping people. So maybe if I get a lot of money, maybe I could start helping people. Oh, look, I have a lot of money. I'm going to start helping people. Not in like a altruistic, weird, like you have to be, well, altruism isn't bad, but in a way that like, oh, I got to help people. Just like, oh my God, my friend needs $5,000 because that would really help them right now. Here you go. Here's some crypto. No big deal. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been sending people Bitcoin for, not over a decade, close to a decade now, for fun. Who gives a shit? I've probably sent, equivalent worth, $10,000, $15,000 of crypto to people just on a whim. Wasn't worth that much when I sent it. Do I regret it? No. It's great. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be supportive. If you look at something like cryptocurrency and go, oh, this is just a mechanism of, the rich perpetrating their dominance on wealth. And no, it's not. It's decentralized. Everyone has this opportunity. You could have bought Shiba Inu coin 2 weeks ago and been super rich. No one stopped you from doing that. This does go back to the other thing I mentioned, I think, on Sean and Cass's podcast. Do the thing that's a little harder. Go one step further than you normally would go. Because if you're going one step farther, if you meet a natural resistance point, this is a good manifestation thing too, right? If you meet a natural resistance point, you better believe a lot of other people are going to reach that natural resistance point. If you just go, all right, I'm going to go just a little bit farther. I'll do that 1, 2, maybe 3 extra things. You're putting yourself into a smaller tier of people who then are likely to benefit more as more people afterwards catch up and go, oh, maybe this is kind of something. I've witnessed this with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with a lot of these cryptocurrencies, because like you either get it and understand in the way that like the early days of the internet evolving, like this is something, this is a useful thing for whatever you want it to be useful for. When you understand that, just wait for other people to catch up. That's why with also like the imaginal stuff, part of the reason I don't speak about it as much, especially on this podcast, is like I'm confident in waiting for people to catch up to my perspective. That's not said with any level of ego or pride. It's just like I get it. I've seen enough proof. I don't have to convince anyone. I don't have to convince people by knowing that you have money and that you're capable and deserving of having money that it comes to you. I'm pretty rigorous with how I, allow beliefs and concepts to come into my world. I want to see some proof. Show me the money, right? The whole podcast will just be me quoting Jerry Maguire from here on out, and Cuba Gooding. Cuba Gooding Jr. How about that movie In Dreams with Robin Williams and Cuba Gooding Jr.? Wow. What a tearjerker. Oh boy. I won't spoil it for you. It's so good. Go check that one out. It's In Dreams? Yeah, it's In Dreams. Oh man, so good. But anyway, the point is this, is that there's weird shit going on right now, and wealth is getting redistributed throughout this country, throughout this world in ways that are unprecedented. And to a lot of people, that's disturbing and that's scary and it doesn't make sense. So they have to vilify these things, or they have to say, oh, this is just some dumb thing. It's just some cultural, it's a bunch of kids on Robinhood and, cryptocurrency places just making money and they're just trading these things back and forth. And it's not really, it's like, all right, grandpa, grandma, really? That's your stance on this stuff? You're going to boomer it up and be like, I don't know. Sure, that's fine if you can't comprehend and conceive of a reality where maybe this shit works just a little bit differently. But for a lot of people, firsthand experience is the best of the best, right? You can't get better than that. So if you're having issues, it's not like you buy Bitcoin or you buy Ethereum and instantly you're a millionaire and look at that. I mean, there's lower liquidity, smaller cap market cryptocurrencies that certainly have a greater potential of, multiplying your worth, but those are also riskier, right? No, not a lot of people are like, hey, you know what? I see Doge is gaining in popularity. Let me go spread like 10K around in dog coins. Let me go do that. But some people did. Some people are like, I think there's something here. I think this is a joke. I think there is a game. I think I'm going to position myself accordingly and see what happens. Those people are all very rich right now. And that's cool. That's cool to me. If that makes you mad, like I used to get mad when I would see things like Ripple or Cardano pump. Like I'd actually be like, this is fucking stupid. Why are these useless garbage vaporware non-coins, cult of personality, just memed coins still in the market sucking up all this capital? I've let that go. It's an unproductive way of looking at things. Do I still believe fundamentally most of these things are probably useless? Yeah. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Would I admit it if I was wrong? Yeah. But I don't need to get mad at it. I don't need to get mad. I think there was a level of like judgment or mistrust when like certain people would talk about crypto back in the day. They're like, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's going to end badly. I know better. It's like, where are you getting your information? Where are you coming to? How are you coming to these conclusions? What are they motivated by? Are you motivated by cynicism? Are you motivated on, I see this, I don't want to get dragged back into it with the vaccine shit, but people are figuring out their own relationships to vaccines. The vast majority of people I know personally are choosing to get the vaccine. God love them. No problems. I've used the analogy that when Apple comes out with the new operating system, I don't update for a few years. I wait to see what's going on. Are there any bugs with my programs? Are there going to be any conflicts, any issues? Doesn't mean I'm against vaccines. That's just my personal stance. But if you find yourself turning into a rabid anti-vaxxer or a rabid pro-vaxxer, what are you doing? Where are you focusing your energy? It's the same thing as getting mad at people for having political views, right? If those political views maybe verge on extremism and harming other people, yeah, you can have a conversation and confront people about that. But like this idea that people need more cynicism and critiques of what other people are doing wrong is just, it's ridiculous to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's also not very funny. See a fair amount of comedians just like, it's not funny. Like, is this a bit? Is being mad about vaccines a bit? Is that something that if it's a bit, it's hilarious. It's like the Andy Kaufman perspective. But I mean, I see it and I just don't get it, I guess. I think the point of being here and the reason we see dog coins going up so much is because it's funny. What a weird reality we live in where people are making money off something called AssCoin. Anyone in the server, in the Discord server for the Patreon knows people have been making money off AssCoin. For real, though. Shout out to Terrence Brekenna in the server for tipping everyone off. People were like, holy shit, I just paid off my college debt with Asscoin. That's a good story. Do it for the story. Do it for the memes. Trust me, when you have that approach, when money becomes this lighthearted, just kind of like, what? Why is this happening type? This is pretty crazy. It's more fun. It doesn't mean there won't be periods of contraction where you're like, oh shit, it's not flowing like it used to, but you're not going to go bankrupt. A lot of people, I think, over the past 2 years have questioned my logic of taking out loans, forgivable or otherwise. Some people didn't believe the PPP stuff was forgivable. It is. And it's been proven to be. But like people are like, this is reckless. What are you doing? You're about to be that essentially 2 families right now. What are you doing? This isn't smart. Then the pandemic hit. They start throwing money at everyone. They're like, all right, well, it wasn't that stupid, but you didn't know. It's like, what? What do you mean I didn't know? I looked at every single person in this country who has achieved any type of financial freedom and success and recognized that the vast majority of them have leveraged debt. They borrow to make money. That's cool. It's fine. Now, if you feel you're the type of person who's going to fucking, piss that money away and have nothing to show for it, all right, that's a fear you need to deal with, but it's certainly not true. I like the idea of people taking on debt. Not crushing debt, not debt that's going to consume your soul and make you feel like a bad person, but the idea of take on some energy, feel what that weight feels like, and see if you can carry it. It feels really good to pay things off too, right? This is just like a game we play. It's inhale and exhale. Inhale the money in, exhale the money out. That's pretty much it. And it doesn't need to be this all-consuming thing in your life. Certainly when you see your balance go up, when your net worth begins to rise and you recognize like, oh, I'm actually going to be able to financially do things that I wasn't able to before, get involved, be interested, focus on the things you would wanted. What's going on? What would you do with it? What have you always wanted to do, but you felt that money prevented you from doing? Know that you're capable of doing those things even without the money. Recognize that you just have to believe that that's inevitable. The money will come, whatever needs to come to filter into your life to realize those dreams. It happens. This disturbs a fair number of people because it sounds like the epitome and the definition of wishful thinking. And it is. It's just little do most people know, wishful thinking is quite literally what summons our experience of what we call reality, internal and external. So if that's like, well, no, there's an objective reality and that's out there and we test it and that's how many of these things have come to be. I'm not arguing that, but your belief and conviction that that exists is literally what perpetuates its existence. This isn't the only place. Go smoke some DMT. Go do some ketamine. Go do whatever drugs you need to do. Go meditate. Go whatever it is you need to do. Go out there. Sit quietly for a few hours. There's other places. There's other things going on. Have you ever had the experience where you kind of like zoom to your death? It's happened to me a few times when I'm pretty whacked out on drugs. It's weird. You recognize your perspective and impression of what's going on here is it's like packed into this narrow linear time view of your life. When you zoom out of that for just a little bit, you go, oh man, it's all happening all the time right now. Everything, life, death, existence, creation, destruction, all happening. Every single second, every single moment of time that we're embedded in, that's what's going on. Maybe it's time to have a little bit of fun with that. I don't know, just me. I'm past the point of thinking that life has to be a serious slog of events that we have to get through and learn things and do things and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it is that. Of course it's that. But if that's all it is, ugh, your life is boring. I'm on TikTok a lot because I love TikTok. It's fun. And they have me pegged, I think, for like a half an entrepreneur. So I get these, these guys with like whiteboards talking about the keys to success and everything. And I just saw this guy say, hey, the dumbest advice you can get is to follow your passion. That's dumb. What you do here, see? You find something you're good at, and then you put hours into it. Hours and thousands of hours. I don't know why I'm giving him like a dumb New York voice. He didn't have that at all. hours of work into it, and you do it, and that's what you do, not your passion. Cool, man. You sound fun. I must be really interesting hearing your stories about what your life is right? Yeah, well, I hate doing this thing I'm doing, but I'm good at it, so I did it for thousands of hours. Do I have any good stories? No, I hate what I do, but I'm good at it. Cool, man. I want to get stuck with you at a party talking about things. I'll probably just dissociate because I'm on ketamine. Whatever. Anyway, of course, follow your passion. They're not mutually exclusive. This notion of a job, of exchanging your time and energy for money, I don't know that that's a good one. If I was like, hey, listen, I made $1 billion. Everyone who listens to this podcast, just hit me up and I'll send you $1,000 every week for the rest of your life. A lot of people might be like, well, I'm not going to do that. I want to earn my... But a lot of people are like, yeah, it sounds fucking great. Do it for yourself. That's essentially what I'm trying to offer here is the keys to the castle. It's your own castle. You're capable of having it. There's less of a reason now to be like, I can't do it. You can't say I can't do it. You can't say it's not possible. You can't do that anymore. Do you have $8? Get in the fucking CryptoSync. This is just a multi-level marketing scheme for CryptoSync, the Patreon. Just pay $8. $7.77 is what it is. The low price is $7.77. Join the server. See what the fuck is going on. Just see what's going on. There is no barrier of entry to understanding, learning about, and figuring out how to have enough for you and your loved ones. Right? You get that? It's not a trick. It's not a scam. I don't need the $7.77. The reason I charge on the Patreon anyway is I feel like it's a good way of gauging people's interest. Anyone can consume free content. That's easy. It's great. That's the relationship. It's wonderful. Lots of things should be free. But if you're really interested in taking a step, paying a little shekels, not so bad. It's a good way of showing your subconscious that you're going to be taking something seriously. This is the old Napoleon Hill thing. He was talking about right away courses in his day. But basically we're like, hey, if you sign up for one of these, you're really going to figure out if you want to do it. If this is something you're interested in, because you now committed some level of resources. And if that constitutes a decent amount for you, a leap of faith, even better. Take that fool's take that fool's leap, like in the tarot. Jump into the void, see what happens. And I think you'll find there's very low barriers to entry to getting involved with this. Does it mean you're going? It took me, let's put it this way. It took me 3-4 years of solid investing and paying attention to get up, past the number that I was like, it would have been hard for me to believe 5 years ago. I would have been like, that sounds impossible. And now it's like, all right, this is good. Let me just get another 10x from here. And then I'm feeling like where I want to be this year. And that's good. I like those goals. It doesn't mean that if I don't hit them, I'm a failure. It doesn't mean if I do hit them that I've won anything. It just means these are my goals. I couldn't have comprehended that I would be ever the type of person who could get rugged, who could get scammed for tens of thousands of dollars and be like, yeah, it's no big deal. Take some, you win some, you lose some. But it's liberating to actually feel like that. And you could say, well, that's privilege, man. Have you looked at yourself? Have you looked at your life? Privilege. Holy fucking shit. There is privilege in the world. There's privilege based on the way I look, the color of my skin, my gender, my sexual orientation. Sure, there's privilege, but it's not like if I didn't have those things, I wouldn't have the same access to the same technology or wisdom that is freely available all over the fucking internet at this point. Back in the day, this is a much more cogent and rational argument to make. I think it made a lot more sense to look at privilege as a cultural kind of modality that really impacted people's levels of success. Knowledge was guarded. Information was held behind locked doors. Systems were designed and are still designed to some point to only allow certain people to succeed. That's not true anymore. I'm not saying those systems don't exist, but you can't tell me there's not a kid anywhere in the world with an internet connection. Doesn't even have to be their own. They don't have to have a constant one, who has a little bit of money, 20 fucking bucks to their name. And I understand there are people in this world who don't have that, right? probably not listening to this podcast, but start with like that, to just go out and learn about this. There are places where money gets airdropped to you. Coins get airdropped for you. You get into servers and there's just people tipping each other and giving each other stuff. It exists. Sharing that wisdom and letting people know that that exists, to me, is important. To me, I know what it feels like psychologically to be crushed by financial obligations and familial responsibilities that are contingent on a certain amount of money. To have that weight be lifted, not only because I have more money, but because I fucking took the bull by the horns and was like, hey, guess what? I want to be in charge of my financial life, my financial future, my relationship with money, my relationship with energy. That feels fucking great because I don't have anyone else to look back and be like, you exclusively are the source of my well-being now, because that's never true. Now, this does not deny that you get involved with a community of people and other people. I mean, the vast majority of my wins over the past year and a half have been completely from other people. Tips, things they throw out there that I then look into, sometimes just on a whim, sometimes just based on other people's conviction. Sometimes people's other conviction bothers me. I'll see how much someone believes in something and I'll look at it and I don't believe in the same way and I'll go, what's the matter with this person? Why are they so zealot like? What do they know? And then sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I've just learned not to get too attached to being right about cryptocurrency because it's magic motherfucking beans. Don't think you've figured everything out. Don't think you're the secret mastermind who's fucking better than everyone else. It's a bull market right now. You pretty much can't fuck up. The only way you fuck up is if you sell on dips. Oh, it's all going down. I knew this was going to happen. I'm going to sell. You don't lose until you sell. Does this mean don't take profits? I've realized over the past year, the more money you pull out, the more money will come back. Feels counterintuitive. Your balance is going down. How would it go up? Every single time I have taken money out over the past 2 years, my balance has gone up at least 20 to 30% within a couple of weeks. It's weird. It's like magic. And I know it's because I say that's what happens, but still, it's happening. It's true. It's really what's going on. So once you understand that you have the same opportunities as every single other person, if you see someone out there killing it on Asscoin, they're killing it on Bitcoin, don't get angry, don't get salty, don't think you've missed the boat. Talk to someone. Speak to someone. How'd you do it? What was it like? Can I do it? How do I do it? These are really good questions to ask yourself. Cryptocurrency isn't the only way to do it. I don't want to make it seem like this is the only way. It just happens to be, for me, the most fun and rewarding way to do it right now. I make money in a lot of different other ways too. It's fun. I enjoy it. And they're all worthy and fun things that I set up and had envisioned, and then they come to fruition. Don't get mad at other people's success. Don't get mad at other people because they don't have the same opinion as you. I'm not saying that I have mastered this concept and I've mastered the idea of, only being magnanimous and, friendly. No, but I've learned every time I'm judging or, shitting on someone else for what they're doing, A, it's my own shit. B, doesn't make things better. Doesn't make things better to say, oh, these people are doing something wrong. Bah. What the fuck is that? What is that? Why? It's not a road to happiness. It's not a road to inner peace. Those might not be your goals, but I bet you'd probably enjoy them. It doesn't work so well. So just try to be chill about all this stuff. Recognize this is fun. It's weird. People like me should not be making lots of money off Asscoin. But here I am. And here are many other people. It's ridiculous. I know it's ridiculous. This isn't intending to be financial advice. You want to know the best financial advice I can give you right now? Be a moron. Be a dum-dum. This is the best advice right now. Here's where the bell curve is. There you got moron at the first part, the lower end. Then you got this bell, it goes all the way up. In the middle, you got average Joe, thinking he's pretty smart. It's just like, most people. Then on the other end of the bell curve is genius, next level fucking autistic genius, like savant, right? You got 50 IQ, you got 200 IQ, you got everyone else in the middle. We're probably the middle people. It's okay. There's other things that we do well. You know, I play music. It's good. I'm good at that. Intellectually, I'm okay. But I know I'm not a fucking genius when it comes to crypto. There's people fucking doing math equations for yield farming. I'm never going to do that. So what do I have to do at that point? The people in the middle are not going to make money traditionally. That's most people. The people at either ends of the bell curve will make a lot of money. So smash yourself in the head with a brick and realize you're dumb and just do stupid shit. That's my financial advice. Does it sound stupid? Does it sound wrong? Yeah, it does. It totally does. But it's working for me. If you overthink things, you go, this can't be. This isn't how it works. It's not real money. It doesn't do anything. It's just numbers. Yeah, you've just described the dollar, the base unit that we measure all other currencies in the world against. That thing. It's not real. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't make sense. They make more of it. Then they say, oh, yeah, no, it's just inflation. It's no, whoa. Did it used to cost a nickel to buy a hot dog? Oh, that's weird. Huh, don't pay any attention to that. The cars cost more now? No, don't worry about it. Are we paying you more? Is the minimum wage of these dollars? No, that's all good. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Basically, if you're holding dollars in your bank account, not kind of like for immediate spending or bills or whatever, you got something to buy, your money is going down in value, whether you know it or not. Over time, it's losing value. Put it in something that's not. I can't even tell sometimes if I'm making money or just not losing money by holding dollars. Truly, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. It's not like there's one solid right answer to what this is, but I don't know. Who knows what's going on? It's cool. It's a transitional period. It's going to feel really good. I don't know, 5 to 10 years, hopefully less, just the financial situation in the world. Also, like, I've been looking into this because someone said it to me, and I was like, that cannot be true. Someone was like, you could fit the entire population of the world in Texas. And I'm like, this sounds wrong. Super wrong. Then I looked into it. It's totally true. Like, we don't have a population problem. We have a systems problem. We have a redistribution of resources problem. It's nothing to do with anything about actual overpopulation right now. Resources and distribution of those resources are the issue. So we can want to go to Mars and terraform and build things. Maybe all the really rich people made the money off AskCoin. Well, I'd never go to space, by the way. No interest. I don't like it when you roll down the back window in a car and there's a whoop, 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 whoop. That bothers me. I'm going to fucking go to G-forces? I don't think so. But yeah, you want to do that? That's great. That's fun. That's cool. I just want people to recognize they can live the lives they want to live the way they want to live them in the way they want to live them. That's all. It's not so crazy. 10 years, we'll probably have legalized drugs for most people. Most people won't be worrying about money in the same way that they do now. There'll be new novel things for us to look at, play with, have a good time. And that's cool. Innovation will still take place. Struggles will still happen. Discomfort will still happen, but people will have a healthier relationship to them. I live in that world. Someone in the server today said, hey, listen, Tuesday next week or sometime this week, something's going down. Some military coup in this country. And I was like, listen, here's the deal. Maybe. I don't want to be the guy who's like, no. But nah. It's not happening. Guys, no one really wants that. Some people want it, but it's a very small percentage of people. Most people don't want that. They don't have time for that in their lives. They don't want to jump to the timeline where we completely live in the dystopian future. They just want little doses of it. Just little doses of shit being like, what the fuck? What? It doesn't make sense. It's the decline of modern civilization. It's okay. Was modern civilization that great for the past 300 years, 400 years, 2,000 years, 2,500 years? Not for most people. think we're seeing some better systems emerge. And guess what happens when a new system emerges from an old paradigm? It fucking is terrifying. It's weird. Doesn't make sense to most people. You lived within a certain societal structure. Seeing it ripped out from under your feet isn't like super fun for a lot of people. Some people kind of see what's going. They make a little hop as the carpet's getting rugged from under them, and they come back down. It's already rugged and everything's fine. Other people are standing on the carpet like, oh, I just fell. It's all right. It's going to be okay. Things are really good. I'm saying this as someone who is literally having another baby, that have 2 other kids. I'm going back and forth every other day. I have less time and space for my own mental well-being than I've ever had, and I'm doing okay. You should be doing okay too. Everyone finds themselves in different situations. I know it can be difficult. I know it can be challenging. You always end up feeling pretty good once you understand you're in charge of that. You're in charge of whether you feel good or not. Circumstances can beat the living shit out of it. I've had debilitating seasonal allergies. Shout outs to Benadryl Congestion Allergy Plus. Holy shit. That's a wonder drug. By the way, these medicines that they have in CVS and these other places are stronger than most street drugs. It's like very clear to me every time I take one of these things. I'm like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. What the fucking fuck? This is stronger than heroin. Some of these things. I was listening to Joe Rogan. I'm listening to the Joe Rogan podcast now, by the way. Talked to this guy, Dr. Carl Hart. I heard him mention it on the Dave Chappelle podcast he did with him, Rogan's podcast. Really good episode, by the way. And he was talking to this guy, talking about this guy, Dr. Carl Hart, who says, you know, he recreationally uses heroin, has been for the past 5 years, and it's a perfectly safe compound. He's right. It is. Don't go shooting it up. If you can take care of your responsibilities, you're not a slave to any substance. I have the same stance on heroin, ketamine, LSD, all of the drugs. If you can handle your shit, have at it. Be able to handle your shit, though. Be responsible. Know what's doing what. Don't be reckless. Don't be hedonistic with these things. They're powerful substances sometimes. Handle your shit. Do what you want to do. Try to destigmatize a lot of these things. Most of the drugs that we know as illegal usually have some type of racial kind of, bigoted component behind their, illegality. Number one. Number two, dude, you're good. A lot of the reason people get in trouble with these drugs is they're forced underground. They're forced into situations where they're diluted or ruined or tainted. It's fine. Do what you need to do. Explore. Have fun. Don't use it as an excuse to shirk your responsibilities. Just do what you want. But anyway, yeah, the CVS shit. Jesus Christ. Benadryl Allergy Plus? That's like fucking, that should be Schedule 1. How dare they just let me go into a pharmacy and buy that? Could never be addicted to this shit. It's like fucking getting smacked in the head every day. But man, when you can't breathe, nothing like the sweet, sweet relief. Is there anything worse than not being able to be able to breathe can't be able to breathe out of, am I having a stroke? Out of both of your nostrils. Ugh. At night when you're laying down and you're like, I can't breathe. It's just blocked. What is that? That shouldn't be a thing. Who do I complain to in the human being body department that is something we have to go through? It's stupid. Can we not? Guys, can we get rid of allergies? Can we just do that as a thing? I know cancer's bad. I know AIDS are bad. But my seasonal allergies, I think, should take priority over all of those things. Is that too much to ask? Is it? I don't think so. I think it's reasonable. Put me at the top of the list. I'm most important. My seasonal allergies, my eyes are itchy. I don't like it. So do something about it. This is why. Oh, God. This is why I'm not in charge of other things. I am in charge of my own life, and it's going fucking great. If you want to get involved, as I said, we'll wrap this one up. It's been, holy shit. I've been talking for 42 minutes. It's fucking Benadryl, man. Get on this shit, dude. Do Benadryl, Allergy Plus. Stronger than heroin. Jesus Christ. Anyway, good episode. Great episode. Happy to be with you guys again. There'll be another episode out in the next few days or so. Big shout out to my guys at Ned doing the promo at the end of this one as well. Rhett and Adrian run Ned CBD company, full spectrum hemp oil. Go to helloned.com/sync, SYNC. Get 15% off everything you order. There's so much more than CBD now. They have magnesium, sleep aids, chapstick with CBD in them. It's great. Go check some stuff out. Use the code SYNC at checkout, SYNC. You get 15% off your order. Patreon is popping. Discord is popping. Asscoin is great. Ethereum is great. They're all great. Come find out what's going on in there. Join 275 other people. Some of them leave at the end of the month. They're like, this guy's crazy. No, I think people are just like, you get to stay in the server. You don't have to pay every month. There's supposed to be a smoke session coming up, a get-together. I can't smoke when I have allergies like this, so they'll probably just be hangout sessions. It's just one of those cruel twists of fate that someone like me who loves weed so much literally can't smoke without going into like a fucking full-on allergy attack. But them's is the breaks, not complaining. All right, that's it for this episode. I will see you soon. Until then, I love you.